Cal Weaver had been working the graveyard shift at K-Buzz 101.3 FM for over a decade. Midnight to 4 a.m., 6 nights a week. Just him, a microphone, some old records, and the quiet hum of the sleepy little town of Marlow, Massachusetts. Cal liked the silence. After his wife left and his kids stopped talking to him, silence was all he had left. He called his show The Night Buzz. It wasn't famous, but he had loyal listeners, truckers, insomniacs, college kids pulling all-nighters, and weirdos who just liked to hear someone talk when the rest of the world was sleeping. It was on one of those nights, in the dead middle of November, when the tape arrived. It was sitting on his desk when he walked into the booth. No envelope, no note, just a dusty black cassette with a red sticker slapped on it that said in shaky handwriting, "Play me at midnight." Cal held it up to the light. No label, no track list, just the command. Midnight came. Cal spun an old Black Sabbath record to kill time and stared at the cassette. He didn't believe in curses or ghosts. He believed in drunk pranksters and bored kids. Still, something about the tape felt off. At 12:03 a.m., he took a breath and said into the mic, "All right, night owls, someone left me a mystery tape. Let's find out if this is gold or garbage." He slid the cassette into the deck and pressed play. At first, there was nothing, just the soft hiss of dead air. Then a voice, faint, hollow, like it was speaking from a cave 1,000 miles deep. "You're not supposed to hear this. But now that you have." The clock starts. There was a pause, then screaming, long distant, layered, like a dozen voices howling at once. Then silence again, then static. Cal hit stop. Cal picked up. "K-Buzz, you're on the air." Heavy breathing. Then a man's voice. "Did you just play that?" Cal blinked. "The tape?" "Yeah, I heard something. A voice. Then my wife, she's gone." "What do you mean gone?" "She was here, next to me, in bed. Now she's not. I looked everywhere. The front door is still locked from the inside. It's like she just vanished." Click. The line went dead. Cal leaned back in his chair, stomach turning. Coincidence, he told himself. A nut job trying to mess with him. He played another record. Didn't mention the tape again. But the phone kept ringing. Over the next hour, 5 more calls. A woman claimed her baby disappeared from the crib. A teenager said his brother had walked into the bathroom and never came out. A trucker screamed that every car on the highway had vanished except his. One man whispered, "There's something outside my window. It looks like me." Cal's hands trembled. This wasn't a prank. Something was happening. At 2:10 a.m., the lights in the booth flickered. The broadcast signal went fuzzy for 5 seconds. Then came the voice again, faint over the speakers. "You let it in. Now they'll all follow." Cal yanked the tape out of the deck and flung it across the room. The cassette split open, reels spilling out like guts. The phone rang again. He didn't answer. He couldn't. At 3 a.m., someone knocked on the studio door. K-Buzz was on the edge of town. No one ever showed up this late. Cal froze. The knock came again, slow, deliberate. He crept to the door and peered through the glass. There was a woman standing there. She looked like his wife, Linda. Same face, same eyes, but wrong. Her mouth was too wide. Her skin too smooth, like wax. She smiled and raised a hand, tapping on the glass with her fingernail. Tap, tap, tap. Cal stumbled back. "You're not real," he said under his breath. The studio lights flickered again. Then the emergency broadcast signal screamed through the speakers. Red alert tones. White noise. A distorted message. "This is not a test. Do not listen to the broadcast. Turn off your radios now. Do not let the voice inside." At 3:47 a.m., Cal checked the live feed. Only 2 listeners left on the stream. At midnight, there had been nearly 700. He tried calling 911. Deadline. He tried his cell. No signal. He looked out the booth window. The town below was dark. Streetlights off. Houses dark. Silent. Like the whole town had fallen asleep or disappeared. And still the booth door rattled as more shadows gathered outside, silent figures pressing against the glass. Some wore uniforms. Others looked like neighbors. Some looked like people he remembered from childhood, long dead. And in the center was Linda, still smiling. 4 a.m., the end of his shift. Cal sat in front of the mic, sweat dripping down his forehead. His voice cracked as he spoke. "If anyone's still listening, don't play the tape. Don't trust the voice. It's not just a recording. It's a door." He paused, looking at the red on air light. I think I opened it, and now it won't close. The booth was surrounded. The cassette lay broken on the floor, but the tape still whispered, twitching like a living thing. The last thing the radio captured before the signal went permanently dead was Cal's final words. If you hear dead air, run. Then silence. A new DJ came to clean out the booth. He found the place empty. No sign of Cal. No blood. No struggle. Just an empty coffee cup, a dead phone line, and the busted tape. He picked up the cassette, studied it, and smirked. Retro, he muttered. Cool. He slid it into his backpack. Later that night, at 11:59 p.m., he sat behind the mic and said, All right, Night Owls. Got something special tonight. A found tape. No label, just a message. Play me at midnight. He hit play, and the tape hissed.